11:13 local time. So, hey, we've got champions about to be crowned here on the ladies Division I and II side here at the Wisconsin State High School Bowling Championships. Craig Ellett along with Jesse Nelson. Championship match just minutes away. Thanks for tuning in. And, of course, our sponsors again, Storm Bowling. Thank you, Kelly Kulick, for sitting in to call our championship matches earlier. Classic Bowling Products. Steve Jarls was in this weekend talking about Classic, and we appreciate their support. They jumped on late, I believe, within the last month or so. We definitely appreciate Classic. Of course, all the fine folks at the Wisconsin High School Bowling Association and Pepsi for supporting competitive bowling here on the high school level in Wisconsin. And ESPN for giving us Jesse for the day.
Pleasure to be here, Craig. This is one of my favorite events. I mentioned I was a part of the Muskego program from 2006 to 2010, and we competed here in 2010 at Weston Lanes here in Wausau, and I tell you what, that was the year we came in fifth. We got to bowl in the semifinals on Saturday night. We had a singles champion in Ashwaubenon the year before. We actually, at the Muskego program, we had the singles champion for both the boys and the girls in 2009. It was one of the first times that a boy and girl from the same school were each able to walk away with the title at the singles rank in Ashwaubenon in 2009 there. But now, I mean, we see the different teams that some familiar names here at our state tournament, but also some new ones. And it's fun to see the diversity and to get some new teams involved in the mix. But likewise, you get a team like Sun Prairie, a team like New Berlin that have been here before and competing at a very high level.
Well, and that's a testament to the coaches, because 99.999% of these coaches, I'm going to say 100%, are volunteers. They do it for love of the sport, love of the game, and to be able to put these types of teams together, bring them here, get them at this level to perform as student athletes with. Remember, these kids are still in high school, right? These are high school kids. We're talking freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors, all kids under 18 years old. They have school.
They go home and do their math homework afterwards.
They have softball. They have other sports going on, but we've got them here bowling. And I know it's hard work for these coaches. We appreciate what they do as well, and the families for supporting their student athletes.
My dad actually ran the Muskego program for a couple of years after I had graduated, and I blame him for why we're not seeing Muskego here today.
There you go. That's your fault, Dad. But anybody that's on the fence about bowling and think of bowling is dying, or you're just not sure if you want to compete anymore, you know what? Get out here, watch one of these events, and if that doesn't get your juices flowing, then you know what? Pick another sport. But if this doesn't get you in the mood to throw a ball down the lane, nothing will.
The team atmosphere that you get from the Baker format is really something special. And a lot of people not familiar with the sport don't understand what that Baker format is all about. And they hear you explain it, and it's like, what do you mean that you bowl 2 frames a game? That's boring. I want to bowl more. That's got to take forever. It doesn't take forever at all. It goes extremely fast.
And Jesse, too, especially on the boys' side with the rev rates and the different equipment they're throwing, you can definitely dictate what your team is going to do. And on the flip side of that, also what the other team is going to do when it hits your pair. I mean, if you got a team you're bowling against that's predominantly straight players, you can play some offense and defense at the same time and try to make their shot even more difficult when they hit your pair for their second game.
Absolutely, Craig.
It's
You're
just
totally
one of the greatest things about the Baker format that I don't think people understand, and it's fun to watch, fun to be a part of. But before we get going with the championship match, I got one question, Jesse, for you.
Yes, Craig.
In a few years, when you're anchoring ESPN Sports Center, are you still going to come and remember us here in Wisconsin at the high school championships?
I will never forget my time here at this event. It's just so much fun to be a part of, and the memories I have competing in it, the memories I'll now have with you the last couple of years, being able to be on the call here on Bullstream TV for the event. It's so much fun to be a part of, and there's a reason that I enjoy continuing to come back and be a part of such a special day for these bowlers that compete all season long, and they deserve the recognition that they get here in the broadcast on our stream. They deserve the recognition they get in front of their peers and their parents here at the center, the fans that come out, the supporters from the schools who may not even see them bowl in any other matches throughout the regular season, their siblings. They all come out and they see the atmosphere, they see the excitement, they're a part of it, cheering on. When we came up here 6 years ago, we spray painted thunder sticks from when the Brewers passed them out at the postseason in 2008, and we had the fans banging the thunder sticks together throughout the entire day as they were following us around. We became legendary for that. I think they banned them now because of us.
I hope so.
In the meantime,
those in that vuvuzela, that was horrible.
We didn't have the vuvuzela. That was after our time, but the Thunder Stakes we had, and it was just so much fun. And I can't repeat enough how great the atmosphere is at any of these Wisconsin High School Bowling Club events.
And I love to see the action in the chat. Everybody get in there, root for your team. Let us know who you're watching, where you're from. Give us your history. We've seen some former state champs watching here today. We've got bowlers from all over the country, and that's the beauty of live stream, is you can watch from anywhere in the world and see what we have to offer here at the Wisconsin High School Championships. And I've said many times over last year, since we did this event in Madison, that this was by far my favorite tournament of the year. And it's going to be right up there. I mean, remember, I just got done doing the Masters, the Players' Championship.
Yeah.
I've done some of their PBA events, college championships, but this is, without question, the funnest event to be a part of.
It's fast. It's high-paced. We've got bios on all the players here. We can't even keep up with who it is because by the time we find the sheet, we're on to the next bowler.
Next match.
It's extraordinary. So we want to welcome the Amherst High School bowlers over on lane 13, finishing their warm-ups. Michaela Hilker, Ray Ballinger, Courtney Wuthrick, Skylar Bricko, Sydney Hintz, Krista Hintz, and then coaches Steve Slavich and Barb Conrad. Meanwhile, for Indian Trail, want to welcome their bowlers Savannah Giroux, Montana Tobin, Devney Wynn, Carly Dostal, Megan Jones, Stephanie Follebeck, Shay Dostal, Ashley Poblaski, Taylor Telosh, and coaches David Giroux and Jay Kessler.
And for Amherst, being the number one seed here in Division II, 2 freshmen, 3 sophomores, and 1 junior.
That's amazing.
That's pretty impressive. So I would not be shocked to see them back in the same situation next year.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Indian Trail, sophomore, senior, junior, senior. So a much more experienced team as far as age goes for Indian Trail. A very young team over on the right for Amherst.
So we'll see how those number 1 seeds fare here. Again, just one match of 2 games apiece. You bowl one entire game on one set of lanes, and then you switch over, or on one lane, I should say. You bowl one entire game, then you switch over to the other game on the pair and bowl your entire game on that one.
And here comes the chance. Here comes the crowd. Championship Sunday. Division I girls on the left. Division II girls on the right. Dale's Western Lanes. And here we go.
And this is where you leave it all out there. The fans, this is what you're here for. It's a dream when you're driving up here to Wausau that you're going to compete for a state championship. And now this is it. So we'll see how the teams respond. And it starts with Indian Trail and a 9 count from their leadoff bowler.
And if we didn't learn anything from the last matches, make your spares.
Make your spares. That's the best advice we can give to anyone. Spares, again, they don't win you a game. You need strikes to win, but if you don't make spares, odds are you are not going to emerge victorious. 9 count for Amherst on the opening ball. Indian Trail converts their spare, but New Berlin, the hot team here, starts with a strike. Division I championship to our left on lanes 9 and 10. Division II championship on our right as you look at the split screen on lanes 13 and 14. And no one's got a better seat than us on lanes 11 and 12. Perfect strike there on lane 10 for Indian Trail. Doesn't get much better than that. Manawa converting a spare, though, to lead off, so each team with a spare in the D2 final in frame number 1.
And the first open of this championship match now for New Berlin on lane number 9. You see Manawa's keeping up that intensity that they finished with in their semifinal match.
And that's what a lot of it comes down to, Craig, is the energy. You need to keep that poise. You can't really let your guard down and feel too either nervous or too rushed. You want to just keep yourself poised, as Kelly Kulik was telling us about earlier. Just stay calm, go through your motions, your patterns, your routine is key in a championship match like we have here.
And that's another thing to navigate, not just that invisible puzzle with the oil out there, but once you get in there, you high five, you're cheering with your opponent, you get up to take a shot. You got to take a deep breath, calm yourself down, focus, and execute. Nice spare on lane 10 for Indian Trail.
Spare strike spare through the first 3 frames for Indian Trail. New Berlin with an open in frame number 2, trying to convert a spare. There is a pin hiding behind it. Well, it doesn't matter because she missed them both. So a pair of opens for New Berlin in frames 2 and 3. Manawa and Amherst, meanwhile, on lanes 13 and 14.
And you know, Jesse, we have not seen a washout conversion yet. I'm feeling this. I think she's going to make it on lane 13. We've seen a couple close ones today, but nobody's made it yet. And I think they're ready to do this right here. Let's see if she can.
We'll see if it's the Craig Elliott jinx or if you're a psychic.
Prognostication.
There's no in between on this opportunity.
Got it.
She looks good. Just the kicker there a little too far to the left. An excellent effort from the third bowler from Manawa.
So I guess I'll have to give out my free NFL pick since I'm not that good at prognostication there.
And a tough split here for Indian Trail on lane 4. The key here is to get 2. When you leave a split, if you don't think you've got a chance to make it, make sure you get both pins because every pin matters when you're adding up a 2-game total. No opportunities to try and take a chance and go for a spare unless it's late in the match where you feel you have to or it will be over if you don't get it. Amherst clean through 3 frames over on lane 14. And they kick off frame 4 with another 9 count. All 9 counts on the first balls for Amherst through 4 frames.
And we forget that we've still got a big Storm Doubles event going on in the rest of the center as we're out here crowning champions. So a lot of bowling action here at Weston Lanes happening in this beautiful center.
What you see over there for the Storm Doubles is a lot of the bowlers that were on teams or in the singles events that didn't make it here to Championship Sunday. That's the alternative. You're up here, you've already booked the hotel room if you're from out of town for 2 nights through Sunday when you check out. So why not sign up for the Doubles event, get a chance to win some scholarship money over there and
absolutely
play it with a partner and it's more of a fun, relaxed environment on the other side of the lanes. It's so intense over here and exciting as we see Manawa with a strike from the anchor bowler in the 5th. Indian Trail with a strike in the 6th. We'll see what New Berlin does here on their first ball of their 6th frame. And it's going to be a 7-count split. So as it sits right now through 5 frames, Indian Trail with a 5-pin lead. However, they've struck in the 6th, and you're likely going to see an open here for New Berlin in the 6th. So Indian Trail trying to create a little bit of separation with a crossover strike, you bet.
And through 5, Amherst is up 9 in their match against Manawa.
So again, Craig, 2 tight matches going on in game number 1, which we saw what happened in the last match, that if you finish within 20, 25 pins, that's nothing. That's a spare or a strike difference by the time you add everything up. Manawa converts the 5-pin. No push-ups to be done there.
You know, interesting, go back to lane choice. Manawa finished on lane 13, and Amherst let them start the match on that lane. They knew what the condition was there. I wonder if that's going to come back to bite them.
Yeah, that's an interesting call from Amherst. Excuse me. Yeah, the team who is the better seed gets the choice of which lane they choose to start on. You have to bowl on both lanes to begin with anyway, so just a matter of which lane you want to start or end on. Coming off a double, Indian Trail with a 10-pin left here on lane 10 in the 8th frame, but trying to string a few together here, at least marks, to create some separation.
Yeah, they're going to open a 40-pin lead now through 7 for Indian Trail, and an open frame for Amherst. Washout possibility. All right, I didn't get it last time, but how about now? Somebody's got to make a washout today. Come on, help me out one time. And this will tie the match right up. Too far left.
Too far to the left.
Talk about count. Remember those 2 pins out there when this match is over. How
good call,
important
Craig.
Those could be.
Keep those in mind. It's better to get the 3 and not even try for the spare than to only come up with 1 in an attempt to get it. That's a strike from Amherst in the 8th frame. They lead by 21 pins, if I see it correctly, after 7 frames.
Yes, 21 pins for Amherst.
Indian Trail trying to finish strongly in the 9th frame. It's a strike. Left-handed bowlers are key. Their line doesn't change. The lanes don't manipulate the left-handed bowlers like we see the righties have to adjust.
Now, Jesse, what is the difference in Division 1 and 2? It's school size? Is that kind of what
yes,
you find?
Yes, it is school size. It comes down to the amount of students in the school, which then affects the amount of bowlers that the school is allowed to choose from. You'll see at the larger schools, they will carry a varsity squad for boys and girls, and then a couple of JV teams.
Oh, that's great.
On the other hand, you'll see some of the smaller schools that have to do a co-ed or just a varsity and a girls team.
Combine a couple schools to get
and you have
teams.
trouble, and we get the co-op programs like we see from New Berlin, Sun Prairie, and Marshall combining to form a program.
And there's 20 push-ups owed to you on lane number 13. Missed that 5-pin. Oh, New Berlin with kind of now some nice 7-pin. A couple pins went after that 7, but it kind of stood itself back up. That would have been nice to help him eat away at that lead by Indian Trail.
Indian Trail with a strong finish, though. 184 is not bad on these patterns.
The highest game we've seen so far.
Pretty darn good score. Well, Amherst might top him over on lane 14. That's a double in the 10th. Opportunity to finish in the 190s with a 9 or a strike. And New Berlin opens the 9th. Ooh, that's going to really come back to hurt New Berlin, who was already struggling throughout a majority of this first game. Several open frames. I see 1, 2, 3, now 4 opens. That's far too many for a state championship game. Good response in the 10th, though, for New Berlin with a strike, trying to chip away. You need every pin you can get, trying to cut into that lead. Again, no lead is safe in this format.
One more strike will get him within 20, possibly to only 28. So this is a big shot for New Berlin to try to keep this close.
And meanwhile, what do we finish over there? A 189, if I see it correctly, for Amherst.
Nice game for Amherst.
That is the highest total through a single game for any team here in the girls' semifinals or championship round. And again, Manawa having the same problem that New Berlin is here in the 10th frame, just trying to get as many pins as he can to cut into the lead.
And our state singles champion, Miss Bayer.
Converts. There's your washout, Greg. You were just one rotation through too early. You called it for her earlier in the game, but it comes in the 10th. And now a chance for a strike to cut that lead down to, well, 54 is the best case scenario.
So she has a chance to win a singles.
Or excuse me, 44 is best case
singles
scenario.
And a team title in the same year. And,
yes.
That'd be a nice season, I think. Anybody might take.
I'd be all right with it.
A lot of work to do yet. They're going to be down 40-plus pins with a game to go.
An 8 spare to finish it for New Berlin. Excuse me, Craig. So that means a 146 was the total for New Berlin, if I saw it correctly. That means they trail by 38 pins as we head into game number 2. Indian Trail with a 38-pin lead.
And 144 for Manawa. So they're going to be down 45.
Which, all things considered, converting that spare in the final frame and then getting a strike on the last, or excuse me, converting that spare. Oh yeah, it was. They switched the scores around. So converting that spare and then finishing with a strike prevents what could have been a 70-pin lead for Amherst. So we'll see if Mana was able to carry some momentum, make the adjustments back on lane 14. But here we go with game number 2 of our girls' state team championships, Division I, Division II. New Berlin kicks it off with a 7 count. But Indian Trail responds, Craig, with a strike. They're rolling right now. They know that they are 10 frames away from a state championship, and they can feel it.
And just a reminder, once this is done, we'll have our trophy presentations, and we'll be back at 1 o'clock for the boys' Division I and II championships. So don't think we're done after these next 9 frames. We've still got a couple more matches to go for the guys later this afternoon.
It's been a full weekend of bowling here at Weston Lanes in Wausau, and it continues until about 2 o'clock, 2:30 this afternoon. then you'll start to see everybody leaving town.
So not only are we awarding state championships today, also a lot of scholarship money available here at this event. And that goes a long way. I know I got my daughter into bowling this year to earn some college money.
Oh, yeah. Help me out. I don't know if it amounted to anything in the meantime, but it did help me out.
Oh, and a missed 10-pin for Amherst. And Manawa strikes, so they're cutting into that lead really quick.
Here's a miss for New Berlin on a 10-pin. That's 2 opens to start game number 2 for New Berlin on lane 10. Indian Trail did open their second frame. So the teams on 9 and 10 in the D1 championship struggling with the new lane adjustments here after Indian Trail had the strike in frame number 1. A couple of balls that could have been thrown better here for both teams, New Berlin and Indian Trail. Amherst struggling with the adjustment as well. Manawa trying to take advantage of the opportunity with a 10-pin remaining here. They could get 2 marks to start the game.
Uh-oh.
And that one unfortunately goes into the gutter for Manawa, so missed opportunity to cut into the 45-point lead for Amherst.
And we see Amherst bringing in a different bowler to try to shoot this split.
Well, we'll see if it works here in the second frame. Coming across, got a chance.
Oh!
They'll take one. That's still back-to-back opens for Amherst to start game 2, and lucky lane 13 proving to be a challenge for both teams in the Division II championship.
10 pins off that deficit already through 2 frames.
And they just need to continue to keep marking, and this is not going to help.
6-7.
Coming out of an open frame in frame number 2 by a missed 10-pin, now a split, which is going to be extremely difficult, doable, but difficult for Manawa. And now how bad does that split feel? Because Amherst with a 5 count on a really bad split. Just an ugly situation on both lanes, 13 and 14. But this is an opportunity that Manawa can look back on and say, if we could have struck or had a mark here in the second and third frames, could have cut right into it.
Opportunities missed right there for Manawa.
Now if you're Amherst, just get 3.
Yeah, don't get cute. Not an easy split.
Almost got 4. And now we turn our attention over to lane 9 because Indian Trail's got a double in frames 4 and 5 after a pair of open frames. New Berlin not helping the cause with 3 of their first 4 frames being opens, and now here in the 5th frame, a split on lane 10. So this is going to be a difficult pickup. And Indian Trail starting to see the finish line. A gold medal dangling in front of them.
And they're bringing in a new bowler for this next frame in the 7th as well for Indian Trail. I think the coach sees something, wants to try something different to at least fill frames and put the pressure on New Berlin.
Or potentially sees the lead expanding as well as New Berlin continues to open and wants to get all of his bowlers a share of the final game en route to a state championship.
So we've seen 4 splits through 8 shots in our D2 match over on the right side.
Tricky lane adjustments, and Manawa almost came up with an incredible spare there. Good attempt. But again, that's 3 straight opens for a team that was trailing by 45 pins heading into the match. Amherst, another washout. What's going on here, Craig? Difficult pattern for the bowlers to read. Everybody's struggling. We could be looking at 189 being the high game for the entire girls team finals, D1 and D2.
And a big shot for Beyer there, the anchor bowler for Manawa strikes.
Well, try to get something started. Meanwhile, Amherst picks up 3. They've opened 4 of their first 5 frames as well. An ugly game 2 for the D2 championship. And, well, there's your string.
Huge double.
Manawa's got a chance with 4 frames to go. New Berlin with a double. I don't think they're going to be able to come up with enough unless they strike out and get some help from Indian Trail. And Amherst trying to put the Manawa comeback to bed with a strike in the 6th.
Well, a strike here will cut the lead right in half for Manawa if they can muster a 3-bagger here.
Here's your
Striking
second
the fifth,
bowler in the
six.
seventh
She's calling
frame,
to go
and
left.
it's a strike.
Yes.
Making the adjustments. It could be something incredible from Manawa Waiawega over on lane 14.
Went from 45 to 22 pins just like that.
Amherst nearly left a split in the seventh frame, but the 7-pin goes down just in time. That would have been disastrous for Amherst to leave a split there, with Manawa coming with 3 in a row.
This was a 38-pin lead for Indian Trails.
Does Manawa have a 4th in a row in store? No, it comes
Trying
up
to make
light.
that spare.
New Berlin misses a spare in the 8th, and our Division I match is all but over.
They're in big trouble. Yeah, they were down 38. It's going to be really tough for them to come back as we focus again on Amherst versus Manawa.
Indian Trail with a strike, and Craig, if my math is correct, that's going to do it. Indian Trail is going to be your Division I girls state champion. Amherst the 9 count in the 8th frame. They've got 93 through 7.
So great run for New Berlin. We'll go full screen on our other match because it's very, very close here. Manawa takes the lead, I believe. Now they were down 45.
I don't know if they've got the entire lead for the match just yet. We'll see how Amherst shoots this 10-pin.
29,
and it's going to go in the gutter. That's an open. Just a 102 in the 8th for Amherst. A strike here makes things very interesting.
A strike here would be 40 pins. They get within 5.
Looks good. A little high, and that's the toughest split you could potentially leave yourself.
And I think as you want, your anchor bowler is going to have a chance to perform. And a good shot for the 9th frame bowler.
But now if you're Amherst, you've got to make that spare because you don't know if Manawa can still get into this or not.
Now I would let Amherst shoot this first just in case you need to pick up this big split. But Manawa is just going to try to get 2.
It's got a chance.
Took a run at it. See, that's where the strategy comes in. I would have just backed off just in case Amherst misses that 10 and try to do some new math there.
A 6-7-10 was nearly made in the 9th frame, but instead it becomes a crucial open. Amherst completes their spare, and now with a good count here in the 10th frame, Amherst is going to survive to become your Division I state champions.
3 in the 10th would force a mark. There's the first one. Boy, she knew it off her hand, too. Look at that shot.
Yep. Great bowling from Manawa to work their way, even to be competitive here in this final game. Now, what does Amherst have in store in the 10th? A 6 count.
It was 45 pins, correct? Yeah, 45.
45 was the difference. Manawa's got a chance.
So Manawa can shoot 178, so 133. Yes, a strike here forces a bucket conversion. Big shot for Beyer.
She gets it. It's not over in Division II.
She has to make this bucket to win the state title.
Across the lane it comes, and she got it.
My goodness. You think she was nervous? Look at that look on her face. So this, we're not making fun of her. Well, this is the fun part of seeing the emotions here in this tournament. You can tell she was nervous. Got a nice break. Unbelievable.
And a 7 count on
just
the
need,
final ball.
3 or 4 pins on the fill now. And Amherst needs 3.
Don't foul. Keep it on the lane. And Amherst just won a state title.
That's why the one girl on the team didn't know until you just said it. She was listening to us over here. She had no idea. What did he just say?
Who would have known that a 136 would constitute enough to win a state championship for Amherst in their final game of the season?
325 to 319, a 6-pin lead after a 45-pin advantage. Congratulations, Amherst. And, of course, Manawa, New Berlin, Indian Trails,